Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
This morning we want to go into the book of Micah, and I'll tell you, Micah and Isaiah were contemporaries. Micah was teaching the poor, while Isaiah was teaching the rich or prophesying to the rich. They live around the same time. As I said, they're contemporaries. Their messages are the same. This is one of my favorite passages of scripture, and I've done devotion on this several times. This has to do with when the affluent people, the people of power at the time, were taking advantage of the less fortunate. It's best you get what God bless you with. And whatever God bless you with, you know it's given to you perpetually. And that's what people are supposed to aspire to do. It did not say by the sweat of, it did not say by the stealing of thy hands thou shalt eat bread. It said by the sweat of thy brow you are to work. And it's worse when people in authority take advantage of the poor. And that's what we're going to look at here this morning in Micah chapter 2, from verse 1 to verse 5. It says, the oppressors judge. The oppressors judge. We see it all around us in our own country, in the countries around us. That's what the good USA is doing right now. They're putting their hands on what doesn't belong to them. And economic-wise, is because they are running out of resources. So they're going to start to take people's stuff. Be it by it's not right, but they're going to use might if they must. And it's only to prolong the inevitable. And it says here from verse 1, it says, woe to those who dream up wicked and prepare evil plans on their beds. Woe. That's a word when you see it in the scriptures. Your ears must go up. It's talking about a severe warning for something that's coming. And it says, woe to those who dream up wicked and prepare evil plans on their beds. Some people who are in authority, they will lie down in their beds, and they have a very wicked and evil plan that they want to do the next day. They can't wait for morning light to come to put their wicked plans into place. That is a very serious thing. I find myself, because I work with contractors, as a ministry of works, and I remember the CEO telling me that people were coming there and begging him not to put me to oversee their job. But then he, on the other side, tells me when he wants value for money, he sends me. But that has caused me a lot of problem perpetually, because people start pointing fingers at me, and they're saying that I am this overbearing, unfair engineer, because they feel as if though what government has should just be a purse for the taking, and everybody does it, so they can't understand why I don't do it. I'm saying, no. I understand the consequence that I'm reading here. I understand clearly what's going to happen, and I don't want to jeopardize my children's future. You see, in a moment it may feel sweet when it starts coming together. But what about when the reality come back? Because this is what it's talking about here. When God judges those people who do those things, because God will judge people who do things like that. And it says, at morning light, they accomplish it because the power is in their hands. It says, they covered fields, see? They covered fields and seized them. Remember Jezebel's husband, the king? He saw this man's vineyard and he wanted it. And he approached the man, and the man said, I won't sell this. This is my inheritance. That should have stopped him. He goes home and he has a long face. His wife sees it. What's wrong with you? He explains. So you are the king. This is what you should do. He did that. He lied on that man and had him killed, and then eventually ended up with his vineyard. How could that go unpunished by God? And there are many people today who are alive who are in that category, who have taken away, they have not taken anybody's vineyard, but they've taken away people's inheritance or what opportunity they have. It says, they also take houses. They deprive a man of his home, a person of his inheritance. In other words, the wealthy, because here they're talking about the wealthy have seen what the poor has. They want it. What do? They forcefully or they scheme to get it. And that's bad. And God is seeing it, and God is saying to us here, I see this. And that's why I say, no, therefore. Remember now, therefore comes as a consequence of what we were talking about before, all we were talking about before. Now God is going to make a decision. He's going to judge these people as a consequence of what they have done. It says, therefore the Lord says, I am now planning a disaster against this nation. So because it is rampant, a lot of people are doing it. So God is saying now, you who are in power, this is what you are doing, this is what I'm going to do to all of you. You cannot free your neck from it. He's talking about that device they put around the necks of the bullocks. So your neck is in that, and based on what you have done, you can't take your neck backwards. In other words, you can't walk away. You can't ease out of what is coming your way. You will have to face it. You will have to face what's coming your way, right? So you cannot free your neck from it. Then you will not walk so proudly, because it will be an evil time. It's never going to end up in your hands. And as this come to a conclusion, it's also going to tell them that, and when it is retaken and redistributed, your family is not going to get their portion. Is it worth the while? I say no. Your family is not going to get their portion. Is it worthwhile? No. And I keep on telling people, if it's an egg you take, you have to pay back for it. It doesn't make sense. It continues and it says, how he removed it from me. He allots our field to traitors. Therefore, there will be no one in the assembly of the Lord to divide the land by casting lots. You won't get. You won't get when it's taken back and redistributed, because it was never yours.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. nobody know. If I ever do leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love it, sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love it, sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace.
I'm a licensed electrician for 15 years. Safety is always an electrician number one priority. I shop at Benny's. Benny's give me high quality, durable material. Cheaper doesn't mean safety. Cheaper means danger. When I think about safety, I think about Benny's. Remember, at Benny's, quality is saving.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and saving. See you at the store.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
In the heart of Belmopan, there's a pharmacy that cares for more than just prescriptions. Medicare Plus Pharmacy, genuine patient and community-centered care, isn't just a promise, it's what we deliver every day. From medicines and wellness products to everyday essentials for you, your home, and even your pets. We're here for your entire family. Moms and expecting mothers are welcome to nurse in our private counseling room because your comfort matters. We offer diabetes checks, blood pressure checks, and medical counseling to help keep you informed and in control of your health. We support our community through blood drives, nutrition and wellness programs, and partnerships that make healthcare more accessible for everyone. And when medical information feels overwhelming, our trained staff takes the time to explain, guide, and support you so you can confidently manage your health and improve your quality of life. Medicare Plus Pharmacy Belmopan, genuine patient and community-centered care, always.
Welcome to the William David Fonseca Parking Facility, your modern solution for safe and convenient parking in downtown Belize City. With easy payment options such as prepaid cards or coins, parking downtown has never been easier. Enjoy affordable rates as low as 75 cents for 15 minutes, $1.50 for 30 minutes, and $3 for an hour. Open and available 24/7. Park smart. Park safe. Park at the William David Fonseca Parking Facility. Modern, secure, convenient. Your Belize City Council. Always about the people.
August 1st, join Builders Hardware at Mia Garden Park for Belmopan Day. Deals, giveaways, and fun. You don't want to miss it. Acompáñanos el 1 de agosto en Mia Garden Park para el día de Belmopan con Builders Hardware. Ofertas, sorpresas y diversión. No te lo puedes perder.
What we see on the streets today begins in the home. It begins with family. Children who grow up in a stable environment where they can play and learn safely are the building blocks of strong communities. To construct those strong communities, our country needs real men. A lot of youth growing up don't understand what that is. Real men are providers and protectors. Real men are responsible and hardworking. Real men spend quality time with their families and raise strong children with values. They teach their children honesty and integrity, discipline and commitment, love of country, accountability for their actions, right and wrong. Real men run things. Aspire to be a real man today, because gang life isn't it. Gang life is no life.
A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Unit.
I'm a licensed electrician for 15 years. Safety is always an electrician #1 priority. I shop at Benny's. Benny's give me high quality, durable material. Cheaper doesn't mean safety. Cheaper means danger. When I think about safety, I think about Benny's. Remember, at Benny's, quality is saving.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and saving. See you at the store.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower beliefs.
In the heart of Belmopan, there's a pharmacy that cares for more than just prescriptions. Medicare Plus Pharmacy, genuine patient and community-centered care, isn't just a promise, it's what we deliver every day. From medicines and wellness products to everyday essentials for you, your home, and even your pets. We're here for your entire family. Moms and expecting mothers are welcome to nurse in our private counseling room because your comfort matters. We offer diabetes checks, blood pressure checks, and medical counseling to help keep you informed and in control of your health. We support our community through blood drives, nutrition and wellness programs, and partnerships that make healthcare more accessible for everyone. And when medical information feels overwhelming, our trained staff takes the time to explain, guide, and support you so you can confidently manage your health and improve your quality of life. Medicare Plus Pharmacy Belmopan, genuine patient and community-centered care, always.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet.
Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Thursday morning. It is it's August the 6th. And we are glad to be in your homes, whatever part of the country you're watching us from. God bless you. Thank you so very much for your support to PlusTV, and in particular our flagship morning show, Rise and Shine. My name is Louis Wade, and because it's Thursday morning, I am joined by Pastor Scott Sturm. Scott, good morning.
Happy to be with you. And yesterday was like really warm and sticky, and it's kind of warmish this morning, a little bit cooler, but anyways, I'm
Are you
happy
talking
for
about the
some-
weather, or are you talking about just the entire atmosphere?
Well, I was talking about weather, but I kind of knew you would probably
It's been
jump the
some
track
days,
into,
Scott.
yes. But we were just talking before we came on set about analogies. This situation is just like that situation. But anyways, we'll save that for as we get in. I was talking about weather, right? Sticky, hot, mugging, and but anyways. The rain has cooled some things down, so it's nice.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you.
Thank you.
And again,
You too.
Belize, thank you for tuning in. Let's look at the weather forecast before we look at the national forecast. How things look. It says here that as of 6 a.m. this morning, general situation calls for warm and relatively dry conditions to prevail. For the next 24 hours, we can expect sunny skies with a few cloudy spells today and partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers or thunderstorms will be isolated with low chance for more rain over our southern district of Toledo tonight. Marine conditions, winds are blowing from the east at 10 to 20 knots with sea state choppy and waves 3 to 5 feet. Temperatures. Inland, we normally start with inland because we are in Belmopan. 74 degrees was the low, 95 will be the high. It's going to be a warm day. On the coast, 82 was the low, 88 is the high. In the hills, 68 was the low, and 82 degrees is the high. And so for Friday and Friday night, we can expect similar weather conditions to prevail. And that's the weather. Yes, Scott, there is a lot to discuss. There's a lot that's taking place within the country of Belize, both as it relates to matters of the church, and then the church as it interacts with the world, governance, the issues of the day, and then of course all hell is breaking loose out there. So I'll treat spares if I could say that it's been quite a rocky and rough number of days, but we stand on the rock, and once we stand on the rock of Christ, and Christ, the Word of God, the Word made flesh, I believe we have our best foundation, our best anchor, that though things, they may swirl and get heated and maybe visibility becomes very low, but we have an anchor, we have principles, I believe, that though it's very tough or hard to speak or to be silent when the proper time is, I believe that God leads his people. I'm a firm believer in that. And so, yeah, it's a little rough, but I believe that principled decisions can get us through and get us better, faster to where we need to be.
But Louis, we also have a constitution. We have a constitution in our nation, but we also have the constitution of the Word of God, which kind of lays out really crystal clear in terms of the difference between right and wrong. And so you know, I think the big news, the bomb that exploded this week was in relation to government's intent to throw all caution to the wind and just go ahead and do the BTL Smart acquisition. Did you see the comment from Honorable Julius Espat?
Yes.
About that the owners of BTL need to be consulted, which the owners are the people of Belize.
Right.
And we've consulted with all of our inner circle cronies, you know, and everybody's agreed that we're going to go ahead and do this thing. But then what about the people of Belize? And I would be so bold as to say, I dare you to consult the people of Belize as to what do they think, because anybody, as far as I'm concerned, Louis, anybody with any kind of common sense knows when you get a monopoly anything, they get full control, they get full power, and there's no way to stop prices from raising, and so competition keeps the market pure, and when there's no competition, the market starts to become dirty, it starts to become sloppy, and whereas before, we had Michael Ashcroft as a player, in relation to BTL and Smart, and then we wound up with this competition thing, and then everybody has to tighten up. You have to offer more deals and more special things because the other guys are doing something. Well, they're going to do something, and we're going to do something too, and that's the whole thing of competition keeps the market pure. But a monopoly, it's going to be bad for the people of Belize. Prices are going to go up. There's no question about it. And so anyways, I've got a number of things we could talk about on that, but it's a huge thing, and I believe, Louis, that it is terribly, terribly wrong. If a judge knows somebody in a situation, in a court case, they know them personally, the right thing for them to do is, it's called recuse yourself. A judge has a moral responsibility to recuse themselves because I know this person, I know this party, therefore I need to step back and let somebody else decide this case. And where's the recusal in this? You have all these insider, people of power making this decision, and there's no recusing, and it's terrible. It's terrible. So anyways, I believe that there's going to be some consequences from this, Louis. There's going to be some fallout unless somebody wises up and says we need to put the brakes on this. I thought that's where we were at, and then all of a sudden, boom.
The money is too big. The money is too big. They will make an attempt to land that plane.
Yeah. and they'll have guys there ready when it lands too, right?
There are animals crossing the road, other planes trying to land. And they will. It's too much money. It's too much money. So let me start by saying that when BTL was a monopoly, they kept the Belizean people from getting the latest technology just so that they could make more money. This is on record. We could not use. I want to talk to the young people, Scott, who love social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, messaging, WhatsApp. I need to make this generation understand that BTL blocked all of that technology, that technology was all around the world except in the country of Belize, because it was going to hurt BTL's bottom line, and BTL kept this entire country in the darkness to preserve its bottom line. Right. I need to make that crystal clear. Anybody that says that Louis Wade is a sellout for not walking out of the Senate meeting, you missed the boat so far, because I am one of the persons who wrote the reason number 1, reason number 2, reason number 3, and none of those reasons have changed. Reason number 1 is the history of what is now telemedia. Digi, you give it any name you want. The character of this company has never changed. It blocked the voice over internet protocol, which is literally what all of social media today is built upon. The newcomers, the new people who are making money, you're selling clothes online, all of the things you are doing online goes through this protocol, and BTL blocked it for the bottom line. So that is the history of this company when it was a monopoly. That's number one.
Yeah, and they used to call it, Louis, they call it VoIP. If you mention that to the young people, they don't know what that is, right? Voice over Internet protocol. So because you have Internet and you got Messenger, you could call and talk, over Messenger. You could talk over WhatsApp. You could talk over Telegram. You could talk over all of these. Those are the Internet protocols, right? I've got a friend in Israel that I went to high school with. I'm driving down the road and he's calling me from Israel, let me know there's missiles flying over his apartment. And I'm thinking, wow, when I first came to Belize, like I couldn't even get a line out. And nowadays, because of Internet, but they blocked that, Louis. They stopped it. Skype, all of those different things, they blocked it. We were like a communist country where the government was blocking these things from coming in. It was crazy.
Right? So that's number one. So Telemedia is not a responsible corporate citizen. It goes for the bottom line, and it is doing exactly the same thing again by stifling out competition, by absorbing it and purchasing it into itself, so that it can once again create the environment where it can claim that it will become profitable. So BTL is only profitable when it is a monopoly. Therefore, it needs to be dissolved. It needs to be dissolved because BTL, out of its own mouth, cannot profit unless it's a monopoly. Yeah. So it is not built for this era. It's not built for this generation. Right? That's number one. Number two, BTL is a dinosaur. Not only is it a poor corporate citizen, it's a dinosaur. Along with Smart is a dinosaur because the technology has changed. The entire investment platform that they built upon. So what they want to do now is if you have two outdated platforms and you merge two outdated platforms together, you do not get a modern platform. You get a double antiquated platform. It is outdated. And so there has to be reinvestment in modern technology or new alignment. And I have said it before, and I will say it again, which is why I will not walk, I will talk. Because our strength is in reason and reasoning and arguments and debate. Not let my colleagues do what my colleagues believe they need to do. If they believe that that is where their strength lies, that is fine. I'm not going to speak negatively about what they do. They do their best. I believe that I do my best in a different format. They are. It's well and fine. I believe that I can do better when I speak, Scott. Yeah. And so, number one, BTL, not a good corporate citizen. Number two, BTL, a dinosaur. What is the technology today? I want to make it plain and straight again. You will not need towers. The towers are in the satellites. That tens of thousands of satellites have now been placed in space. Amazon have satellites in space. Elon Musk have satellite in space. The Chinese have satellites in space. They have literally created a rocket or rockets that literally go and land. The rocket land. So the same rocket can be used over and over and over again. And those rockets right now, they're going up, putting a satellite in, come back down. Get launch another satellite, put it into orbit, come back down. And they are the entire globe is encircled by satellite communications, that they are connected to each other by atomic clock, by the atomic clock, so precise. And they are going to beam the content directly to your phone. No antenna, no tower, no lines. It's out, and the government cannot block it. It cannot be blocked because it's coming straight from the satellite, straight to your phone. And they can't stop you from having a phone. It's over. It is over. And so it is 80 million wasted dollars that BTL is getting ready to spend out of our money so that they can bail Michael Ashcroft and the Briseño family and the other shareholders, bail them out of the disaster that is to come, so that that group of people will walk away with millions upon millions of dollars, while we, the people of Belize, will be stuck with the bill and stuck with a dinosaur. I don't have to walk out of any house or Senate to explain that to people who want a reason to understand what is happening. So I need to make that clear this morning. And Scott, in an interview yesterday, I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to walk out of the house. So please, if you didn't like what I did, get ready to not like it again. Get ready to not like it again, because before I ever dreamt that I would even get to represent anybody anywhere in the National Assembly, Scott, I used to always criticize when PUP walk out. Yeah. And I used to always criticize when UDP walk out. And then the OSH bill, the bill we were debating the very, very same day. I don't know if you know that this part, Scott. The bill we were debating to pass, which is the OSH bill, this is on Tuesday. The UDP had not been in the debate in the lower house because they had walked out. Now, they felt that was strategy for them. They claim that the OSH bill is the most important bill because it is for the workers and safety and ever, and they were not in the House of Representatives. They don't have a thing on record in the House of Representatives on the OSH bill. Yep. They were absent. So the bill now comes to the Senate. We are debating the bill, and they are saying, you know, oh, you might laugh at us, but we were not there to debate. And so when I stood up, I was like, you know, you shouldn't really walk out of the house. This is Tuesday, you know, Scott. Yeah. I was saying, you know, Scott, yeah. When I stood up, I said, no, look at where we are. We are in the upper house. We have 22, you know what is 22 amendments? You know what kind of dopey bill that passed in the lower house and passed through the cabinet to have 22 accepted, approved amendments and 46 pending. Yeah. 46 pending. Why? Because you walked out and did not do your work.
To articulate.
Yes.
Speak up.
To speak. No, Scott, on the very day that you articulated your absence, we are now looking at 22 amendments and 48 pending. You will walk out again? And then you want me, who just said, guys, this is why you shouldn't walk out of the house, you know, because we have work to do. This is serious matter. Look at where we have to be now.
Balance the thing out, man.
And then like 10 minutes later, it's like, hey, I have a great idea. Let's walk out of the house.
And don't say anything.
I am like, really? It's like, really?
Maybe it's because people don't have anything to say. I don't know. Read the bill.
Like really? Like, you want to walk out of the house? I was like, hey guys, you know, like, let's stay and talk about the BTL thing. Like, when it's your turn to stand up, instead of talking about the Caribbean, like, talk about the bill. And then the speaker will, the president will silence you. And then the next person will come up, then talk about the bill again, and the president will silence. Then the next person will talk about the BTL again. And I was like, guys, strategy, you know, like, you can talk, you know. You're like, no, we're gonna walk. I said, okay, guys, I'm gonna stay.
Good for you, Louis.
And I will talk. I'm gonna stay. I understand that some people won't understand. Scott,
well, they might not like it and feel like, you know, stand with them.
Scott, if I am silent, people cuss me out. If I talk, people cuss me out.
That's right.
If I go, I mean, I get a good cuss out with the church. And if I stay, I mean, I get a good cuss out. So, and that's what I mean by principle. Like, when it gets really dark. I'm not saying it did not get really dark. It got really foggy. It got really lonely. It got really intense. But the guiding principle was, and to me it was very clear. Number one, you've never agreed with walking out. Why will you walk out now? Number two, you just reprimanded people for walking out, and then somebody comes up with a bright idea of walk out. Come on, Louis Wade. And I was like, Lord, not again. But you know, Scott.
But there's an abdication of responsibility, you know, in that, Louis, and because you're there in order to speak up, right? And like what the Bible says, speak the truth in love. You got to speak the truth, but we speak it in love. We speak it in love for our country, what's the right thing. And then if the government has come back and brought amendments and changes to be able to improve this thing, and then we're going to walk out when, like, and somewhere what happens is, like, we get our eyes off of the real goal, which the goal is what? The people of Belize and the nation of Belize. But then we're not going to enter that debate.
Yeah, so like the media, and goodness knows who tried to spin that I must be for the acquisition. How will that be? Like, how do you spin that? You know, so, like, to me, that is just for people who don't want to rationalize step by step. So what can I do? I can't do anything about that group of people, you know. So they call it, you know, like you are you know, like what do you have to say when people are saying that you are a sellout? Well, what's there to say? I think time will tell. You know, it's just like it's like that. So I mean, like nothing literally changed between January and August, because number one, the technology has still shifted and we're looking at a dinosaur. All of the self-interest, you explained it perfectly. You know, the Prime Minister of Belize, Johnny Briceño, he selects those who will sit around the BTL table. He, in selecting those people, he then controls who becomes the chair of BTL. The chair and the board then dictate who will be the CEO of BTL. So the Prime Minister directly has his fingerprints over the entire board of BTL and its leadership.
And he could try to step back and say, no, that never me, that ain't decide, yeah. But he's the one that appointed them.
Then you come to the PUC, which is the regulatory body, and it's exactly the same thing. Because though it is a regulatory authority and it regulates that particular telecommunications space, the appointments to the board are also done by his administration. It's his people. And then you move over to SMART, and it's all his people. it's his brother, it's his cousin, it's his friend, Michael Ashcroft. Some people say, well, campaign financer, business partner. Like, you can't back away from here to hell and distance yourself. There's no space in the universe that you can back away sufficiently, Prime Minister, to disassociate yourself from your family business and your political enterprise and your governmental authority. They are all at play. Like all at play. So the only thing that I can say in my head is the Prime Minister is getting ready to collect his money and go home. Like you clearly stop play because you grab your marbles and go home. Right? And then maybe you're taking the whole PUP with you or whatever, you know. And all of these comments I have made on record before, and I have not changed an iota of my position, because to me it is clear to see, except a person wants to create mischief. Yeah. It's just mischief because you wanted me to walk out of the. And I'm not gonna walk. Like I'm gonna talk because like there's much to say, and that I believe is what creates action. In other words, that the people of Belize are not making a decision based upon emotion, Scott, but they can literally understand the principles and the facts upon why it is a bad idea. That's right. And that can only be done through dialogue, and it can only be done through explanations. I'm sorry, but that's just the position that I hold, that at this present moment we speak about why we educate, we help people to understand position. So the Prime Minister's hand is all over it, and it's impossible for him to divorce himself from the issue. Starlink, the technology, and then of course you have BTL as a poor corporate citizen in the past, and then it wants to regain the very monopolistic position that it had at the very beginning when it abused the Belizean public to turn a profit, and it wants to return to that position. And those are three reasons so far, and the fourth reason is that free speech should never be monopolized. Free speech of the media, free speech of the social media, etc. And they have proven that they have stifled free speech before. And when the company was under Michael Ashcroft, who owns Channel 5,
Go ahead and say it. It has to be said. Speak the truth in love, right?
When Michael Ashcroft controlled BTL, he wrote a letter to the media houses and told us that in order for us to ride fiber, our content had to be censored. That if we wrote about him or his companies in a negative light, we could not ride on the fiber.
Because they own the fiber.
Because they own the fiber.
So they'll shut you down.
Exactly. And so the rates, number 5, only went down when competition came in. Then BTL rates came down, and there came a rate war, and Belizeans are benefiting from the rate war because we have lower communications prices. And finally, before Smart entered the telecommunications landscape, it did its due diligence, it did its research, and claimed that it could be a successful company in the face of competition. That is why. And then you, as Michael Ashcroft, you farm smart, and then you went for the future prime minister to be your partner. So there's a there is a pre-knowing from 2 decades ago that this was what you were going to do.
Okay.
This was what you were
Pre-planned.
Pre-planned, Scott. Because when he formed SMART, he went for the future prime minister and to his family and said, come be a partner with me in this SMART thing.
Yeah.
Come. So what we are seeing playing out is the partnership getting ready to cash in on this scheme.
Cash in, cash out.
Cash out.
Cash out. Get out of the way. And I predict, Lewis, I predict that they're going to take that money and try and get into the next wave.
Right.
Right? Because...
Which is satellite.
Right, satellite. But because, why? Because we have all of these insiders and we shift over to this next thing. And who's going to pay for it? The people of Belize, right? The people of Belize. Lewis, you remember just the history with BTL. Jeffrey Prosser was willing to buy BTL for $100 million, right? Syed Musa slammed the door in his face, took his money, and then the whole thing with Michael Ashcroft and then Dean Barrow took it away. And we wound up paying an additional $200 million on top of the $100 million. So we already paid over $300 million, and now they're going to tack on another $80 million. And like, this is absolute craziness.
Who win every time?
Yep.
Michael Ashcroft.
That's right.
Every time. Buy, Michael Ashcroft win. Sell, Michael Ashcroft win. Take away, Michael Ashcroft win. If
he can't win, he no play.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
So this is what we're looking down the barrel of nation of Belize, and it's why we feel so strongly that this is a bad move. This is not for the benefit of the people of Belize. Okay, this is the benefit for the insiders that are making this executive decision, and there's a collusion, and I would go so far as to call it a very wrong. I would consider it as a corrupt move because of exactly the reasons that Lewis, you have just listed, right? And so it's why we feel so strongly about this. And so, Lewis, I would hope that the resolve would be any legal and moral means possible. So we're not talking about violence or anything like that. Any legal or moral means possible to be able to stop this from being able to happen, because this is not for the benefit of the people, and yet they've spun it around to try to sell it as if that it is, and so it gets on my nerves because it's happening right in front of our face, right? Lewis, whenever you hear about these power imbalance, in relationships and one taking advantage of the other, and here you have it. The Prime Minister sits on top of the nation of Belize. The government of Belize sits on top of BTL. The Prime Minister and his administration appoints the people in the PUC, appoints the board in there, and like as you listed, then on the side they have this SMART company which has their people there, and like this is all, it's insider deal that they've decided we're going to do this. And it doesn't really matter what for the people. And I know some people might get upset with me for saying that, but Lewis, it's just, I'm telling you, it doesn't set right because it's not right.
Yeah. So I want our viewers at least to have a clear understanding that her position has not changed, because nothing has changed. So essentially, I was saying that media houses are trying to play either devil's advocate or like some kind of neutral role when the truth of the matter is that media is carried on this is a system. It's a streaming system. It's now internet. Everything is now using that very same internet protocol. All of it is now streamed, and so you need that competition. You need that competition so that the prices, if I get blocked here, I can have access here with my telephone lines. It's either here or there. We here at PlusTV, we have both smart and telemedia telephone numbers and accounts that are linked to both, so that whatever happens, we are able to still broadcast, still communicate, etc. And so I was speaking with a friend who was telling me that even in the United States, like they can choose between electric companies, like they can choose between electric companies. Like I would have thought, I was like, that's really not possible. Like who will give you power? But then the power can be controlled by the commission, but through the wires, the cables, the medium, the grid, and then it's the power provider that's generating the energy that can then, you can decide where you can make a better rate. So the power in the hand of the consumer, the power in the hand of the consumer is where it should remain. And when there is choice, the power is in the hand of the consumer. Where there is no choice, the consumer is powerless. We can see that right now taking place in the very expensive price that we pay for fuel and that we pay for butane, the expensive price that we pay for electricity. Because when a company becomes a monopoly, it knows where it will get the money from. We'll get it from the people. It knows where it will get the money from. But when a company has competition, it has to be lean. It has to be maga. It has to move swiftly. It has to have the best technology. It has to bring on board the best possible people. Because if it doesn't do that, it's going to fail. Because it constantly has to innovate. It needs the best leaders. So it's when you are competing, you are slim and trim. And so these companies need to cut the fat. They need to cut the fat so that they can survive in this environment. And that's why, Scott, these employees of BTL, no wonder their association endorsed the purchase. It is not strange because they're not looking at the interests of the Belizean people. The employee scheme, the employee association of BTL is looking at their self-interest because they can continue to remain fat if they are a monopoly. But if there is competition in the current environment, the company have to slim down. And it's only the best of them that can stay. And some of them that are slackers need to go. Because the belt, in order to successfully pass through a difficult time, there is belt tightening. And those employees of BTL do not want belt tightening. They want to continue to splurge on the cow, just like Michael Ashcroft and the politicians that are lining up to sell their shares. BTL is a big fat cow, and the employees and the shareholders and those who are benefiting from going to benefit from this deal, they are only seeing that the milk will continue to flow. But that is not the case because the technology has changed.
Yep. And Louis, we are at risk of winding up like one of these companies, Blockbuster, if you remember about Blockbuster. They've gone down in history as one of the companies that didn't adjust to the changing market, right? Blockbuster is where you used to go buy and rent, you know, VHS cassettes to be able to watch movies. Kodak was another company, but we've learned about this in the Global Leadership Summit. These companies failed to adjust to the changing market, and the whole market moved, and they were left out there like what they call a ghost town, right? Just standing out there. Kodak was doing, you know, film for regular cameras. Well, the whole digital market was coming along. Kodak went belly up. Blockbuster went belly up because they didn't adjust. And so, what we're seeing is the same exact thing happening right now, right here in Belize, right? Because of the failure to make adjustment to the changing market. And but then they're going to turn around and pass that bill to the people of Belize, because who are the people of Belize? Give us their names, right? And so in a democracy, you know, everything's just this big nebulous thing. Well, it's just the people's money, and people are going to make the decision to take, you know, $80 million of that. And so anyways, it bothers me, Louis, because it's just like a bill. You've talked about, you know, having to oppose certain bills because no, this is not for the benefit of the people of Belize. These need to change. This government has done very well. Like I said, I've been in a number of House committee meetings, and I've never been in House committee meetings like that where they've taken the feedback and go back to change the bill. And so that's been wonderful. But then we hit this thing, and it's like, no, they're digging in their heels. They are gonna do this. They're not going to allow for any adjustment. So I'm predicting that there's going to be a crash.
Well, in any other democracy, Briceño would be forced to resign, because in my opinion, and based on the optics, it's him and his family that are pushing it, in spite of the fact that several ministers have come forward. You can hear Julius Espat, you can hear Francis Fonseca. But maybe there are enough. The cabinet is going to meet on Tuesday, and maybe there are enough people to tell the Prime Minister no. I doubt it.
Because
I highly doubt it.
He's on the tail end and he's out, but these others are saying, I know they're on no tail end, right? Yes. So Honorable Cordell Hyde spoke up, you know, in one of their meetings as well.
In January, that was like in the first round.
Yes.
I don't think he has spoken as yet, but the person that he endorsed to run for mayor of Belize City, which is Alan Pollard, is a person who sits on the BTL board, and he voted no. Alan Pollard is one of the persons who voted no. Yeah. The only other person who voted no was the union. So does Alan Pollard's no vote mean then that Cordell maintains his position, which was that the people needed to decide that we are the servants of the people? And I think that the voice of the people are very loud and very clear. But the only thing that can stifle the voice of the people to make you not hear it, the money. And a lot of money. $80 million is a lot of money. And so I think that the People's United Party is heading into a storm, like head on into a storm, because from every single angle that I study this matter, people are not buying into it. And so it is a decisive issue. That it's an issue, I believe, that can decide the future of the administration.
It's true. And I would say, if that's the case, let the chips fall where they may. But the people of Belize need to step up and need to be actively involved. And we need that aspect of things, Louis, to kick in, right? The people of Belize need to speak up.
Yeah. Well, we got to take a break. It is a few minutes, 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. So we'll take a break and we will come back. Don't go anywhere. Please continue to join us If you want your voice to be heard, 822-2031. Text messages 610-5679. We'll be right back.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go?
What we see on the streets today begins in the home. It begins with family. Children who grow up in a stable environment where they can play and learn safely are the building blocks of strong communities. To construct those strong communities, our country needs real men. A lot of youth growing up don't understand what that is. Real men are providers and protectors. Real men are responsible and hardworking. Real men spend quality time with their families and raise strong children with values. They teach their children honesty and integrity, discipline and commitment, love of country, accountability for their actions, right and wrong. Real men run things. Aspire to be a real man today, because gang life isn't it. Gang life is no life.
A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Unit.
I'm a licensed electrician for 15 years. Safety is always an electrician #1 priority. I shop at Benny's. Benny's give me high quality, durable material. Cheaper doesn't mean safety. Cheaper means danger. When I think about safety, I think about Benny's. Remember, at Benny's, quality is saving.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and saving. See you at the store.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Welcome to the William David Fonseca Parking Facility, your modern solution for safe and convenient parking in downtown Belize City. With easy payment options such as prepaid cards or coins, parking downtown has never been easier. Enjoy affordable rates as low as 75 cents for 15 minutes, $1.50 for 30 minutes, and $3 for an hour. Open and available 24/7. Park smart. Park safe. Park at the William David Fonseca Parking Facility. Modern, secure, convenient. Your Belize City Council. Always about the people.
In the heart of Belmopan, there's a pharmacy that cares for more than just prescriptions. Medicare Plus Pharmacy, genuine patient and community-centered care, isn't just a promise, it's what we deliver every day. From medicines and wellness products to everyday essentials for you, your home, and even your pets. We're here for your entire family. Moms and expecting mothers are welcome to nurse in our private counseling room because your comfort matters. We offer diabetes checks, blood pressure checks, and medical counseling to help keep you informed and in control of your health. We support our community through blood drives, nutrition and wellness programs, and partnerships that make healthcare more accessible for everyone. And when medical information feels overwhelming, our trained staff takes the time to explain, guide, and support you so you can confidently manage your health and improve your quality of life. Medicare Plus Pharmacy Belmopan, genuine patient and community-centered care, always.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize.
Back to Rice and thank you so much for joining us. Telephone number is 822-2031. It's right there on the screen. And of course, if you are watching us on stream, there is a slight delay, but you go by what you hear on the telephone if you want to call us, and you can't wait. That's the only thing about streaming. There's a delay, but the delay is good, you know, Scott, because it's useful and should be used. Delay should be used to properly monitor your content, so that any kind of obscenity or nudity, you can block it out or before the time. And that is why a new broadcasting legislation is being contemplated. It's because everybody is streaming now. So even if you watch us this morning on a smart TV, it's being streamed to your smart TV. If you're watching Next Gen or Centaur, it's being streamed to an app to your TV. And then many of you watch us on social media, which is being streamed, if you watch on YouTube. So the technology has shifted to streaming. And so if it's shifted to streaming, then those who control the internet, because it's all by IP addresses. So you can shut down an IP address, or you can actually slow down an IP address. So when you have a monopoly, it is easy for me to say, okay, you see that stream right there. We won't take it off, but we are going to limit who can see it. We will limit, or we can slow it down so that it's constantly giving trouble, so that you feel like when it is in the hands of a very, very small group of people and you don't have options, then you are able, using that IP address, to block, to slow down, to determine how many people are going to, and so that's the reality. So you will be on this side, the one that, like this one here, you just know it work good today, the stream, the drop, and it can be software deliberate. Yeah. It can be deliberate.
And so it's room for manipulation.
Yes.
Right.
It's room for manipulation.
And so what people need to realize, Lewis, is this is going to affect everybody in the nation. And the technology is not slowing down, it's actually going up. And this is going to affect everybody in Belize. So that's why we're saying, people, you need to wake up, you need to pay attention, you need to understand the issue, what's the bigger picture on this, right? And why it needs for the people to speak up. And so I would hope that we could see some type of pulse of the people, if people are brave enough to actually care about what do the people of Belize think, and that might be a new concept in the country of Belize, right? So,
we really hope that the government, because I think that there are sufficient people in government, in cabinet, that can say, no, this is not going to go through. Do a referendum. But you know why they won't do a referendum? Because they already know that the Belizean people are not in favor of it. So the question is simply who have the backbone, the spine to be able to say no in a time when everybody else is saying yes, those in power. So Michael Ashcroft is a very, very powerful person. He is the majority shareholder in SMART. And I think the president of the Chamber of Commerce said it best. He said this appears to be a seller-driven initiative. Now, any seller-driven, you imagine a seller-driven initiative for telecommunications. What it is saying is that the seller is setting the terms, not the buyer. So, who would I buy a vehicle from where it is the seller that's holding all the chips? Like I'm going to walk away with a very expensive vehicle, like if it's a collector vehicle, and the only thing that I go is like, I want that vehicle. It's not even longer I need that vehicle, right? It's like that model doesn't exist anymore, or I see myself riding that like so it's out of the financial realm, and it moves into the realm of value. That's where seller advantage takes place. I have what you want, and so money is not the issue. It's the value to me of that company. So here you have people that support the sale that are arguing both ends of the argument. They are saying, hey, telecommunications, they do bad, they do poor, everybody they do bad, so we need for consolidate. And then 10 minutes later, no, SMART, they do good. They do good. So much so that if we get it, it could pay for itself. The money don't have to go like
put all these dress on it and some bows in the hair.
So this is the only purchase where things very, very bad that we have to purchase, and things very, very good. Why we have to say? And so I just sit there and say, boy, what a sale. Yeah. But it is a seller-driven initiative, So we supported the reacquisition of BTL from Ashcroft, but I think we were saying we have to pay. That and just come and strong arm it and whatever, because this is theft. Like you cannot just take away a person's asset from them, because he wanted to Ashcroft wanted to keep BTL. So why would Ashcroft want to keep BTL? It was a cash cow. So how all of a sudden the cash cow is no longer a cash cow?
That's right.
How? You know, so this is not logic. This is not reason. This is not based upon sound argument. So if you take logical argument now, because it's clearly not that, and you take out that picture, like what you left with, it's like it's corruption, it's power. And you, when we spoke just before the show started, you were talking about the issue of balance of power. You
Power
see?
imbalance, yes.
Or the imbalance of power. So it becomes a power dynamic. I will show you that I can do it. That's power.
Yep. And then it gets forced. It gets forced upon the other one, and then that brings us right to where we're at. And who's going to pay for it? It's the people of Belize. It's our money that's going to pay for it.
So isn't this Ashcroft power play? So it's power. It's money and power. It's money and power. So where money and power take priority over the wishes of the people, and I can't even say the wishes of the people, because sometimes the people wish wrong, but the best interest of the people, because sometimes the people don't know what is in their best interest. But it is proven around the world, Scott, that free market and the competitive atmosphere is what takes prices down and bring customers to their best quality position.
Everybody knows that in business,
Yes.
Louis. Everybody knows that.
Yes. So I cannot be convinced at this point that Michael Ashcroft is really getting out of communications. Can't. Because it's been his cash cow. It's been his biggest cash cow. So somebody is telling me that Michael Ashcroft is just giving up smart. Well, maybe he's giving up smart. But what is it that he already has in his hand? Or what is his next? It's going to be in communications, because how will this government try to convince us that communications is not to make money? That both companies are losing and we need to create a monopoly. So just the fact that it just doesn't make sense from any angle that we look at it, except we look at it through, put on your corruption lens, and it just falls into place.
Yeah, it's true. And Louis, the crazy thing about it is these are people that don't necessarily need the money, but then they're going to squeeze that out of the people of Belize for them to be able to go position themselves. I saw some communications in relation to people are asking for disclosure of who is Starlink Belize. And apparently there's been no disclosure. And so people want to know because they want to be able to see the play. And we have our suspicions, right? But anyways, I'm just saying that to say the people of Belize should not be duped in a situation like this. There should be full transparency. And so I don't know, Louis, maybe we need to trigger a referendum.
Well, we have to get that legal opinion first, because I think a part of government's play is going to be, we don't have nothing to do with that. The two private company where they haggle, I think that will kind of be there.
That's the facade that's being painted, right? Everybody knows exactly what's going on.
Which the government plays a most important role, because the government is the regulator, and there is a telecommunications act. There is a telecommunications act, so government cannot say, but they would attempt to say it. So I think that at this present moment, things like a referendum, etc., is like a weapon in the arsenal. But I think there are other weapons
that are up front.
Yes, that are up front that can be used. and then looking closely at what cabinet is going to say and do. So I think Tuesday is pivotal to see who with that backbone, with the love of the people, those who say, no, this not on my watch, kind of a politician. Not every politician has that, you know, Scott. Some of these politicians are self-made. They've put in their pound, they've worked the system, they've stand upon their own platform, on their own integrity. They won their constituency multiple times, and they can go against a powerful prime minister. But some of the people in cabinet, they were made by the prime minister. He personally chose them, picked up the phone to say, hey, I would like you to run in this area. He built their platform. They had no reputation. He gave them a reputation, so gave them the money to create a reputation.
Now they owe him
and
something.
They owe. And it's time to collect your pound of flesh. And it's now is like, okay, well, you get this, that under 10,000 thing, you know, is so many people you like when the curtains were drawn for this Ministry of Defense, it's amazing how many people were feeding at the trough.
Yeah.
And so why allow people to feed at the trough? And you just say like, yeah, you're right, let's really eat up that and the 10,000. Because when I circle with mines, when I circle with mines, you better come on board. So this is why it's not a good time to be like we have this under 10,000 thing, and corruption is being thrown left, right, and center. And in the middle of that, Scott, you will say, hey, let's move forward on the BTL thing. Like those things.
I don't understand.
Those things amaze me.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure what they're thinking, but you know, watch and see. It's going to unfold. But I'm predicting that there's going to be a clash and a crash in this situation, and I would have to say rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
All right, we got to wrap up our program for this morning, and we are not neglecting anything when we say that we recognize what happened in the upper court as it relates to Pastor Victor Hernandez, and two counts of rape, one count of sexual assault, that the court has said that based upon the evidence, based upon witness testimony, that they have come to the conclusion that something happened, and the something that happened, they have declared it to be 2 cases of rape and 1 case of assault. And we love the pastor. Right? We will pray for him. We pray for him. Certainly, they may have strong feelings towards us for stating that the guilty verdict requires then that there be a consequence. There has to be sentencing that will take place, like that follows logically. So if your case fell apart, but the case of the victim, through much difficulty, went through all the way to where the court is convinced, then I think that it's time to fall in line with the verdict. So you've got to fall in line with the verdict, and it becomes a lesson for all of us in the wider Christian community as leaders. Like this is where we are, and certainly I will visit anybody in prison. I will pray for. I believe in the redeeming work of the cross of Christ. And as I had shared in our writing, Scott, justice also flows from the throne of God.
That's right.
And so the place where love, justice, and mercy meet perfectly is at the throne of God. And then we have been given different jobs to do. The state has been given a job. The church has been given a job. And we all need to carry out that job. And I believe that it's a lesson for us that we should look and weigh and measure all of our interactions with those we are called to serve, so that not even a charge can arise, so that there will be sufficient evidence should an accusation arise that says, no, like he wasn't there, like he wasn't even there, like you know, that's not how he conducted himself. Like, no, here are the parameters that were set, that were clearly known. Like, here are the people that I was under, and here were the people that I was over, that could continue to speak into my life, so that should I breach any one of these things, that it can be seen from an earlier stage.
That's right.
We need to have people in our lives, Scott, that can actually say, when Dali, Louis, they know like this, and then suddenly they be like, you need to have those people in your life that says, Louis, is everything all right?
That's right.
It's
true, Louis.
Is everything all right? You know, it's not judging or anything, but it's just saying, like, I see a little shift there, like what's happening, and like we need those people, Scott. And if we do not have,
it's called accountability.
Yes, and if we don't have those people around us, then that ship will veer off course, and we ourselves might think that we still on track. And so these are things that we need to deal with, and we can't just be giving pass and right. No man, that my pastor, that will never happen. We need to protect our pastors as well. And our pastors need to create the atmosphere where people can speak into our lives as well. The proper balance is, I think, what will save us as we move forward in this generation.
Absolutely, Louis. But I think the most important thing is that it starts in our own hearts. We need to be the first ones to hold our feet to the fire, right? And so this is one of the most important dynamics, and this relates to our discussion about government as well, Louis, is that you need to pursue those accountability people that have the power to say no to you. But I want to, as we're winding down here, and you brought up this conversation right at the end of the show, right? And so anyways, but
sorry,
but that's okay. But I do want to springboard off of this and talk about the importance of boundaries. Right, and we all have to set boundaries on our life, and some of the ones that I have worked with that have crashed and burned, it's been because they did not hold fast to what I mentored them in. And one of those things is women work with women and men work with men. Right? And if you need to work with a woman, you do that together with your wife. If your wife isn't available, then you do that together with another person, from your church, another leader or whatever. But it's just those proper boundaries, Louis, to be able to avoid those kind of dynamics. But definitely beyond a shadow of a doubt, do not allow yourself into a situation where you are alone with somebody, and I'll say of the opposite sex, because we've got ladies in ministry. If they're not pastors, they might be leading a ministry or whatever. You don't allow yourself alone in a situation with somebody of the opposite sex. These days, you even have to be careful with people of the same sex, right? So it's building those accountability dynamics, right? But it's protecting yourself, it's protecting the church and ministry, it's protecting people, it's protecting everything. And so I wouldn't want to finish this conversation today without at least plugging, we can talk some more about this, Lewis, but without plugging this dynamic of accountability. And what I want to say, this is going to be a little bit strong, but this is what I teach. If you're 25 years old or older and you don't have people in your life of accountability, that's your own making, that's your own creation. You must pursue that, and that's having people that are strong enough. They love you, they got your back, but they're also strong enough to tell you no, right? And so Pastor Santi is one of those people for me. Lewis, you're one of those people for me as well, and we walk in accountability, right? And then if we have questions, but somebody that's going to say, how dare you ask me questions about like that, that is a bad sign. That's a sign that something is going wrong. So I just want to encourage all of us. We embrace that kind of accountability. And so Lewis, I'm 63 years old. I'm almost a full-grown man, right? And I do not leave my house without telling my wife where I'm going, right? And last night, I went to go speak to a number of young people, nearby Belize City, far away. And as I climb in the vehicle, I send a text to my wife. I'm coming home now. She knows she can expect me in about an hour's time. It's just like, she'd treat me like Wally Picnic. It's not that. I have embraced this standard that I want good communication with my wife, and everything always lines up. Why? Because I'm committed to walk in truth. So boundaries. I just want to encourage everybody. Let's keep the vehicle on the road. I don't want the right ditch or the left ditch. I want to be on the road. Let's drive and let's take this thing somewhere.
Well, Belize, thank you so much for joining us. Please keep us in prayer. There are a lot of decisions to make, a lot of things to say, and a lot of things to be silent about, and then knowing how to speak when called upon to speak. So please keep us in prayer. As pastors, as senators, as talk show hosts, as fathers, as just right across the board. And we're grateful for your prayers and support, and we covet even more. From all of us here at Rise and Shine, God bless you, Belize.
Lewis, have a wonderful day.
Amen.
Belize, you have a wonderful day as well.
See you tomorrow.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef.